Jax and I are going to be reacting to World War I Oversimplified Part 1.
Part
Jax?
one.
So, Jax, you seeing this now? The black screen?
I do see the black screen.
Yeah, what is the time at the bottom?
000.
Slash.
6:23.
Good.
You thought I wasn't
The
watching
world of
it.
1914.
This reminds
a time
me
of
like
modern
of Up.
technology,
I
culture,
don't know why.
and fashion. Truly the height of
This is just an amazing image.
civilization.
You know,
Let's have a war.
I thought that was
Everyone
his
knew a big
thighs
war
for a
was
minute.
Okay.
France wanted some stuff back that Germany had taken from it. Germany wanted to take more of everyone's stuff, and they were building a big sexy navy that was making the British uncomfortable.
I thought your mom watched these. Why are you having this language in here? The language is not good for your mom.
Lots of different people who
Your
lived
mom's
there
very
didn't think it was so
influential.
cool. And some of them had even been declaring independence with help from Russia. Everyone was talking about each other behind each other's backs, throwing the fact that military technology had come a long way since the last major war, and suddenly everyone was pretty eager to beat each other up. In this area of Austria-Hungary live some Serbs and Bosnians who hated living in Austria-Hungary. So the Austro-Hungarian Archduke Franz Ferdinand goes there for a nice drive in an open-top car with his car's route published in advance. And that went just about as well as you'd expect. Some assassins were waiting for him along the way and threw bombs at his car, but they missed and blew up some officers behind him instead. So the Archduke goes into hiding, leaves Sarajevo, and the whole war never happens. Except no, the Archduke doesn't leave, but instead goes back out in the open-top car to visit the injured officers in hospital. The driver takes a wrong turn and by sheer coincidence gets stuck beside one of the failed assassins, who shoots him. Austria-Hungary is understandably pissed about all this, and they think the Serbian government had something to do with it, which they might have. So they go to their ally Germany and say, "Hey Germany, we're going to declare war on Serbia," and Germany is all for that. So Austria-Hungary send a big list of impossible demands to Serbia, and when Serbia refuses, they declare war. Austria-Hungary and Germany are friends, and Serbia is protected by Russia, who's friends with France, so they'll declare war on each other. Montenegro joins in too. France and Britain also have a kind of alliance.
Go back.
Says Montenegro and Serbia war.
What did it say?
So here,
Monto what?
So here, this is everyone declaring war that started World War I.
And when
No, I'm talking about what you said about Monty. What?
Austria-Hungary and Germany are friends, and Serbia is protected by Russia, who's friends with France, so they'll declare war on each other. Montenegro joins in too. France and Britain also have a kind of alliance.
It just said a bad word.
Sucks at Montenegro. Montenegro.
Oh my!
Is a small nation that borders Serbia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, or in this situation, Austria-Hungary, and Greece.
France says, "Hey Britain, you got my back?" Britain is like,
"Whoa,
maybe." And then they decide to stay out of it, which is great for Germany, because Germany has a plan. They know that Russia is so big and clumsy that it will take them a while to get ready for war. So with this guy in charge, Germany will send all its troops into France at lightning speed while Russia's getting ready, defeat France, then move all the troops to Russia and defeat Russia, and then we all speak German and eat Pfefferpottast every day. Just one problem.
What's your opinion on Pfefferpottast?
I'm confused by this video.
World War I is a very confusing war.
It's weird.
So let me sum it up for you. Guy in Austria-Hungary was assassinated. Bunch of countries declare war on each other. Germany's going to invade France and then invade Russia.
France has loads of forts and defenses along its German border, and Germany can't waste any time fighting them, so Germany decides to go around them through Belgium. Belgium is neutral, but Germany wants to march 750,000 troops through it to get around France's defenses. They're hoping Belgium will just kind of sit down and shut up, but they don't. They fight back, and they're pretty good too, so they slow the Germans down. What's worse is that Britain shows up, and they're pretty pissed that Germany's invading neutral countries. So now Britain declares war on Germany. So Germany push on through Belgium and commit some atrocities along the way. They also wear...
As you do, you just commit some atrocities, you know. By the way, I think this is 5 years. I believe this is 5 years old. Let me check. No, it's 6 years old. Yeah.
Wait, can you press F?
We could talk about this after the recording, Jax.
I'm just curious about some things.
We can talk about that afterward. Anyways,
Sorry, my Slim Jims.
Spikes and sometimes
That's what I'm calling your viewers now, the Slim Jims.
The bad guys. Good
Even
job.
though your
The
name's
Allies
not
have
Jim.
a propaganda extravaganza, and this starts having an influence around the world, notably in America. The U.S. president would
America! Woo, yeah! Red, white, and Peru. Red, white, and
at the perfect time.
Red, white, and Peru.
Just look at this image. Look what he's saying.
My thing is still processing.
It's paused. Eisenhower's saying group hug.
Okay.
To get everyone to just hug it out. But there's also a large population of ethnic Germans living in the United States, and when the war first broke out, they were like, yay, Germany. But now that they're committing atrocities in Belgium, they're less enthusiastic. Let's play Spot the French Soldier.
Jax, let's play Spot. Can you see the French soldier?
I found it.
Wow, you're amazing. I think I found
right
it too.
there.
Yep.
It's on the left.
Did you see him? Easy, right? He's wearing a bright blue uniform with red trousers. And do you know who else spotted him easily too? The Germans. So when the French were slowly marching in columns through the countryside, the Germans easily tore them to shreds with their giant guns.
That's
all the nations involved in this war.
That looks like a tank without wheels.
It has a wheel. Jax, this is a wheel.
That's an engine. Making
it go. Easily tore them to shreds with their giant guns. All the nations involved in this war went in with an old school war mentality.
War is an adventure. What? I couldn't read it.
Update their uniforms and tactics.
Here, I'll let. War is an adventure.
Hey. War is an adventure. Bayonet charges are cool. Cavalry is really effective. And dying for your country is awesome. I wouldn't die for my country, though.
And all of them had to update their uniforms and tactics.
Would you die for your country?
War. Yes, I would.
I would not.
Because this war was going to be like nothing anyone had ever seen before. Russia's ready for war, and way earlier than expected.
Are you going to get drafted for World War III for that?
Oh yeah, sure, we've got this. Nope. So Germany has to send some troops back to the east to defend against the Russians.
Nope.
The chief of staff of the Austro-Hungarian army is this guy, and although he is handsome, he turns out not...
I forgot that line existed. I've seen this video like 3 times. You have not seen it once.
To be the best military strategist, Austria-Hungary constantly ignores Germany's advice, and then comes running back to Germany whenever they get in trouble. Austria-Hungary even gets its ass kicked by tiny Serbia, who repels all their invasion attempts at the start of the war. It's better news for Germany in the north, though, where they almost completely wipe out the Russian Second Army. Back on the Western Front, the Germans continue advancing and are in sight of Paris. At this point, anyone would be forgiven for thinking the Germans were going to get that quick victory after all. But then things start to go wrong.
That quick
The French commander-in-chief knew something had to be done, and he ordered his army
Joseph
to stop
Joffrey.
In the resulting battle, a gap opened up in the German lines. If a gap opens up, the enemy can use it to flank you from the side and behind, so the German armies have to retreat. The Allies launch a counterattack, so the Germans dig into defensive positions. The Allies do the same. Then both sides move north, trying to outflank each other along the way. When they reach the sea, they're in a stalemate with trench systems running the whole way from the coast to Switzerland, the beginning of trench warfare on the Western Front. Here's how trench warfare works. 2 opposing lines of trenches with no man's land in between. One side would pummel the other with hundreds of thousands of artillery shells, sometimes for days at a time. This had a huge psychological effect on the soldiers.
I'm just gonna point this out. Look at this guy in the left here with the cast. He looks insane. Like, I know he probably isn't doing too well from all the trench warfare, but he
has a pot over his head.
That's military helmets of World
War I. That's a pot.
That's the helmets they had back then. They didn't have extremely great technology.
Looks pretty
leaving
dumb.
Many shell-shocked. Then, the attacking troops would leave their trenches and rush across no man's land. A muddy wet mass of shell craters and barbed wire.
The barbed wire stopped them there.
Machine gun fire on the attackers, inflicting thousands of casualties.
They missed
the attackers would send wave after wave.
If you watch it back, they killed literally everyone.
They missed one guy.
No, they didn't.
Until either they
yes, they did. They missed the guy that was behind barbed wire.
No, they didn't.
There would be months of fighting and the deaths of thousands in order to gain a few meters or kilometers of land.
It moved.
Living in the trenches was hard work too. Corpses, mud that could swallow you whole, pools of poisonous water, rats, disease, the smell. It's insane that millions of soldiers put up with these conditions, and commanders ordered them to do so for years.
So you want to watch part 2 or wait till next week to leave the viewers on a
Leave them with suspense.
Leave them with tons of suspense.
Suspense, because they can never go look it up on their own.
Yeah. Anyways, guys, that's it for this one.
Buy my silly sausages.
Anyways, Jack, say goodbye to the G-Fam Lit gang.
Buy my G-Fam Lit gang, bam bam, chicka chan cham.
You